In 1964, a nobody walked into the Spanish desert and walked out a legend. He had no name, no backstory, no grand speeches. Just a poncho, a cigarillo, and a squint that said, "I've seen what men do when no one is watching." His name, well, he didn't really have one. But the world soon called him Clint Eastwood, and with 3 films, a fistful of dollars, for a few dollars more, and the good, the bad and the ugly, he didn't just play a cowboy. He killed the old western, and gave it a soul. I'm your name, and this is Buzz of Legends, where we don't just quote the lines. We uncover why they still echo. Before Sergio Leone, westerns were clean. Noble sheriffs, clear villains, happy endings. But Leone saw the West as something else, brutal, operatic, morally bankrupt, and he needed a face for that vision. Enter Clint Eastwood, 34 years old, fresh off a TV show nobody took seriously, and told by Hollywood he'd never be a star. For $15,000, he flew to Almeria, Spain, and stepped into a myth. He didn't say much, didn't need to. In a fistful of dollars, he speaks just 112 lines. But every glance, every pause, every drag of that cigarillo said more than pages of dialogue ever could. This wasn't a hero. This was a ghost with a gun, a man for hire, playing 2 gangs against each other. And when he finally wins, he doesn't smile. He just rides off, into silence. In for a few dollars more, he got a partner, Lee Van Cleef as Colonel Mortimer, and a villain, Gian Maria of Allant as Indio, a man haunted by a pocket watch that chimed before every kill. Here, Eastwood's character got a nickname, Manco, the one-armed, but his real power was still in what he didn't say. And then, the good, the bad and the ugly, 3 men, 1 fortune, a war-torn wasteland. Eastwood's Blondie wasn't the smartest, not the coldest, but he was the one who understood the game. In the cemetery standoff, the greatest scene in Western history, he doesn't win with speed. He wins because he cheated. He hid his gun in the coffin. That's the real message of the Dollars trilogy. There are no heroes, only survivors. By 1971, Eastwood was back in America, not as a cowboy, but as a cop. And with Dirty Harry, he gave a voice to a nation losing faith in its systems. I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, do ya, punk? That line wasn't just a catchphrase, it was a cultural earthquake. In a time of rising crime, urban decay, and bureaucratic paralysis, Harry Callahan was the fantasy, a man who cut through red tape with a .44 Magnum. Critics called him a fascist. Activists called him dangerous, but audiences, they saw something else, a man who took responsibility when no one else would. And Eastwood, ever the contrarian, never defended Harry as a hero. He called him a necessary evil. But here's what most people forget. Clint Eastwood was never just a tough guy. He was always an artist in disguise. In 1971, the same year as Dirty Harry, he directed his first film, Play Misty for Me, a suspense thriller about obsession. Shot in his beloved Carmel, it was lean, tense, deeply human. And it proved something. Eastwood understood people, not just guns. While other stars got typecast, Eastwood refused to be boxed in. He made musicals, Jersey Boys, war epics, Letters from Iwo Jima, sports dramas, $1 Million Baby. And in every one, he found the quiet truth beneath the genre. This was Eastwood's real genius. He used genre to explore humanity. The Western wasn't about cowboys, it was about regret. The cop movie wasn't about justice, it was about moral compromise. The boxing film wasn't about victory, it was about mercy. Now, let's talk about the lines, the iconic quotes that didn't just define roles. They defined eras. Ronald Reagan quoted it in a speech on nuclear deterrence. It became shorthand for uncheckable resolve, turned a simple bluff into a philosophical question about fate, fear, and ego. A warning disguised as wisdom spoken by a man who constantly ignored his own advice. Not flashy, not loud. But it cut to the core of what it means to fight for something or let go. And let's not forget the quiet ones, the lines that aren't said. In Unforgiven, William Money says, "It's a hell of a thing, killing a man. You take away all he's got, and all he's ever gonna have. That's not tough guy talk. That's grief." And it's why Eastwood's legacy isn't just cool, it's human. Clint Eastwood soared to fame in the 1960s as a man of few words. But over the next 60 years, he proved that silence can be the loudest voice of all. He didn't just play tough guys. He gave them souls. He didn't just quote lines. He made us feel them. And at 94, he's still working not for applause, but because stories still need telling. If this journey through Eastwood's legacy moved you, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more from Buzz of Legends. Next time, the women who shaped Clint Eastwood. Until then, remember, real cool isn't in what you say, it's in what you choose to leave unsaid.